You're watching 48 Fastcast.
All right, y'all, 7:01. Thanks for joining us for the 48 Fastcast. Waking up this morning to some mild temperatures and another 70-degree day today.
Yeah, and I heard we're going to have some clouds, but the sun behind us right now looks pretty nice, too.
Yeah, if we do see sun, it'll likely be over the next couple of hours. Then we're mostly cloudy to overcast. But even though we're dealing with clouds for a big portion of the day, we will be just as warm as we were yesterday. Highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Some of you will have a little bit of patchy but possibly dense fog to deal with for your Tuesday morning drive to work or taking the kids to school. Some drizzle, it's possible from time to time, late morning into the afternoon, but mostly just a cloudy day. It actually feels spring-like, a bit more humidity. We've got more rain coming in, though, this evening, overnight into Wednesday morning drive to work and school. So tomorrow morning's commute will be more impactful, affected by the rain, maybe some ponding puddles possible on the roadways. Heavier rain coming in. That's the second round of rain we got to talk about Saturday night into Sunday. Other than drizzle, the light to moderate scattered showers will hold off until about 8 o'clock this evening. Look at our temperatures, though. We still have a few 30s, but for the most part, everyone's in the 40s to even middle 50s already this morning, warming up into the 60s and 70s with cloudy skies before we're tracking rain coming in later this evening.
This is your 48 First Alert Road Report, sponsored by Bankston Motorhomes.
All right, taking a look at your traffic this morning, just reporting a couple of accidents. This one on Highway 72 at I-65 there, not too far from the Athens area. So just be aware of that. And then also just zooming out here, another one on 72 at Mooresville Road. We're also seeing some slowdowns there on 565 near County Line Road there as well. So just be aware of that. Now, if you're heading from Decatur to Huntsville, it's going to take you about 30 minutes. Well, your son or daughter may soon have an easier time earning college credits in high school.
The goal is to get your students either career or college ready, and this will be doing both.
Well, soon your son or daughter might have an easier time if they're trying to get college credits in high school.
Yeah, a new bill, if voted into law, would automatically enroll students who are proficient in math into higher level courses. 48 Sarah Grace Kennedy joins us live now outside of Lee High School. And Sarah Grace, this would allow students to take Algebra 1 in middle school and college level math courses in high school.
Right, House Representative Mac Butler, who is the sponsor of this bill, tells me that this legislation is meant to help middle school students prepare for Algebra 1 much earlier so that they can have more time to take AP and dual enrollment math classes in high school. And under this bill, students who do well on their annual math assessment would be automatically enrolled in the advanced pathway. This would start in the 5th grade, and you would be able to opt your son or daughter out of the advanced math track at any time. Butler says the goal of this bill is to allow students to go to college with more math credits already completed. He says this is especially important since Alabama's math proficiency rate was just above 33% last year. And Butler tells me he believes this bill will help a lot of students.
You know, so many times you teach to the middle. You're in those at the top and at the bottom sometimes get left behind, but this one's actually going to assist those at the top that are proficient, that will advance right along.
How schools will be helped implementing this change has not been finalized yet, but Butler suggests possibly moving some Title I dollars and redirecting them to help them for these schools. And this bill, if passed, would be effective in October. Live in Huntsville, Sarah Grace Kennedy, 48 on your side.
Happening today, Alabama lawmakers say they're taking steps to reduce your utility bill. To do that, they will discuss turning the Alabama Public Service Commission into an appointed body. The APSC sets your utility rates. Now, currently, these board members are elected. Lawmakers are proposing significant changes to try and reduce your electric bill. An investigation by our sister station in Birmingham found that Alabamians pay some of the highest rates in the country. If approved, the governor, House Speaker, and Senate pro tempore would be tasked with appointing board members. The state Senate would have to approve those appointments. Today's meeting is set for 11 a.m.
Well, Muscle Shoals city leaders have voted to reinstate City Clerk Brittany Walker. Now, that decision was made following a 5-hour meeting yesterday. The vote to reinstate was 4-1. Walker's attorney alleging yesterday that Mayor Billy Hudson fired Walker for personal reasons. Hudson's legal team, though, is rejecting that argument. They said that Walker allowed the city to continue to participate in a non-compliant medical benefit plan. Walker has said that she didn't have the authority to cancel the city's participation in that plan. Walker was also accused by Hudson of misusing a city vehicle and changing employees' schedules improperly. She was initially fired late last month by Mayor Hudson. This followed an internal investigation into the city's finances.
Now to a 48 update on a story we first brought you here yesterday morning. A Marshall County mother who nearly beat her 2-year-old daughter to death will spend the next 40 years in prison. Carmen Casanova was initially arrested in 2022 after her toddler was found with severe injuries. Casanova claimed that her child was involved in an accident, but investigators later found that the child had been badly beaten. The toddler was even airlifted to the hospital. The child did recover and has since been adopted.
A Huntsville murder suspect had pled guilty to manslaughter. Jorge Cortez was accused of murdering a former Hazel Green doctor. Now, Cortez pled guilty on Monday. Dr. Bobby Newbell died in a car crash back in 2022. Now, this happened near the Drake Avenue and Memorial Parkway intersection. Cortez has been sentenced to a 20-year split sentence, meaning that he'll spend the next 5 years in prison for reckless manslaughter. Now, he will then be on probation for 4 years. If he violates that probation, he could be forced to finish out the remaining 15 years. Well, state troopers have released the name of the man who died in a car accident in Madison County yesterday. This happened on Moontown Road and Berry Road near Brownsboro. Troopers tell us Devin McPeters of Huntsville was killed when the truck he was driving smashed into a tree. And we're told he was not wearing a seatbelt. Well, right now, Trinity United Methodist Church leaders are investigating the circumstances surrounding the arrest of a former daycare employee. Church leaders sent a letter to parents yesterday announcing their investigation. The church has hired an outside firm to do this. Now, this all follows the arrest of Cameron White, who used to work at the church's daycare. White was arrested in late January, and he's facing 8 child sex abuse charges. The director and associate director of the daycare have also been placed on leave. 2 lawsuits have been filed as well since White's arrest. Court documents show that some of the accusations against White date back 5 years. Church officials, though, have told us that they didn't know about the allegations, and as soon as they did, they notified police. White is scheduled to appear in court on February 18th. Right now, Fayetteville fire investigators are still trying to figure out what sparked a massive downtown fire that ended up destroying 4 businesses along with multiple apartments. Now, this is what you saw there what the town square looked like yesterday. Now, the Fayetteville fire chief tells us he made the decision to demolish the buildings while they were still burning. That was done to prevent the fire from spreading. Now, one witness tells us he knew something wasn't right just by the sound of the sirens.
You know, I was in here doing a little book work. I'm an insomniac, and every night there's a fire truck comes by here and it goes very quickly. That night was something different. The sirens were slow. Another one came and I said, something's going on, but it was on fire and it seemed contained and you know, I wasn't concerned that much. I hated it for them. And then next thing you know, this thing gets out of hand.
Now, 3 firefighters were hurt. 2 have since been released from the hospital. It took crews nearly 12 hours to get it under control.
This morning, we're hearing from the attorney of a Madison County mass shooting suspect. Ashton Elliott is accused of murdering 2 people during a birthday party in 2023. Elliott has claimed that he was throwing a party when someone shot at him. His attorneys allege that dozens of video files and interviews are now missing. Robert Tootin, who's representing Elliott, says the lost evidence should be cause to drop the charges.
Somebody telling the police a day or 2 after the event this was a premeditated, planned drive-by shooting targeted at him in retaliation for something that they thought he did. There's his defense.
Tootin alleges that the Madison County Sheriff's Office lost all that evidence. Now, we did reach out to the Sheriff's Office for a statement Sunday, but have still not heard back.
We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Well, the search for Nancy Guthrie is now in its 10th day. Her daughter and Today Show host Savannah Guthrie is continuing to plead for her safe return, releasing that new message. Investigators remained at Nancy's Tucson home yesterday looking for any clues that may lead to a breakthrough in this case. Authorities believe she was kidnapped from her home in the middle of the night. Yesterday was also the reported deadline for a ransom payment. Savannah Guthrie is appealing directly to the public during this difficult time.
So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement.
Investigators say they do not have a person of interest at this time. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information in this case.
Once they finally did come out, we were in the home and they opened up the walls without any sort of containment. And so there was mold there and it contaminated the whole rest of the house.
Well, this morning, one Alabama military family is sharing their story of being exposed to toxic mold. The family was staying in military housing when this happened. Erica Thompson has been a military spouse for 22 years. She and her family moved into military housing in 2023 and immediately encountered problems. Mold was discovered in their home and their children got sick. One of her children even began fainting, and her other kids complained of headaches and nausea. Thompson did eventually move out of that house, but after talking with other military families, she discovered how widespread of a problem this was. That's when she decided to do something about it.
And we connected with Change the Air Foundation, and it's a nonprofit that works for clean, healthy air, and they've been working on state policy a lot and some federal legislation, and so I wanted to do something more.
Thompson and her children are working with lawmakers to protect families from toxic mold in military housing. In fact, their children recently introduced the Military Occupancy Living Defense Act, or MOLD Act, in Washington, D.C. If approved, MOLD guidelines will be established for military housing.
Well, for almost a year, one little boy from Ardmore had been searching for a kidney donor after receiving a devastating diagnosis.
Yeah, 9-year-old Ruger Ennis was diagnosed with kidney failure last March. But today, we're happy to report that he finally has received a new kidney that he's been patiently waiting for. 48's Claudia Peppenhorst joins us live in studio this morning. And Claudia, you got a chance to catch up with Ruger and his mom and find out how that recovery process is going.
Yeah, over the past year, I've gotten to know the mom and son duo very well. And I can tell you, I have never seen Ruger with that much joy and energy he now has post-op. Here's a look at their story.
It was very emotional to get the phone call.
It's a phone call that mom, Haley Scrimshire, has been waiting on for almost a year. Her son, 9-year-old Ruger Ennis, was diagnosed with kidney failure last year. Ever since, they've been waiting for him to receive a kidney transplant.
I think God was preparing us for it.
Haley says for a while they were waiting for a living donor, but as Ruger's health continued to decline, doctors recently placed him on the United Network for Organ Sharing list. She also made the decision to pull him out of school and allow him to do all virtual classwork due to his health. But on the night of January 5th,
I was stressing on how we were going to do all virtual, and then that night at 7:30 we got the call that we've got the kidney.
My kidney! It's my kidney!
They immediately grabbed their bags and headed to Children's Hospital in Birmingham. Ruger says he was feeling two very big emotions.
Nervous and excited.
He was dancing in the hospital, so he was ready for it.
On the morning of January 6, Ruger underwent the long-awaited surgery. After 5 hours, he finally had a new kidney, all thanks to another very brave young man.
The donor was a 16-year-old. We don't know much else other than he was in an ATV accident. So, we're always forever grateful for them. Hopefully one day we can make connection with them and let them know how grateful we are.
After a successful surgery, Ruger spent 8 days in the hospital. He and his mom are now in isolation at the Ronald McDonald House for the next 3 months. Not even a month later, you can already tell a difference.
You can tell a huge difference in his energy, huge difference. He's put on 10 pounds in a month.
A big topic during our interview was food.
The first thing I ate after transplant, Cheetos. I was just sitting down eating Cheez-Its.
And there's a reason why.
They said feed him all the pizza, chocolate, and ice cream he'll eat right now because his labs are still low. So he's excited to get to eat the foods that he didn't get to eat when he was diagnosed.
Now, their journey isn't over just yet. Haley says Ruger needs to be closely monitored for the next year because the chance for organ rejection is so high. But for now, Ruger is doing well and is enjoying life with a new kidney.
Now, your First Alert weather with meteorologist Eric Burke.
Glad to see Ruger is doing well, and good job on that story, Claudia, sharing that with us. As far as today goes, a little patchy fog for you. Even though we've got more clouds building in, mostly cloudy to overcast through the day today, we still in February 10th, hit a high of 71. Rainfall starts to develop late this evening, overnight into Wednesday morning, midnight to 6 a.m. Probably the window of the heaviest rainfall, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, some lightning, but we actually clear out by tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will just be cooler with a high of 59. We're at 61, mostly cloudy. A little bit of drizzle is possible off and on through the morning into the afternoon, but most of you will stay dry. Rain could impact that morning drive to work and school. Heavier rain, that's the second round coming Saturday night into Sunday, and could impact some of your Sunday plans.
All right, thanks, Eric. Well, still to come tonight, you have a chance to learn more about the Huntsville Police Department. We'll tell you more about this today. Up next.
Happening right now in Decatur, city officials are taking another step forward to build a new bridge into the city. This is being done to relieve the daily traffic that goes over the Hudson Memorial Bridge. A new $3 million grant will go toward funding a study to examine the feasibility of building that new bridge. A similar study was done back in 2023. Nearly 55,000 cars pass over that bridge every day. Decatur Mayor Kent Lawrence and City Councilman Carlton McMaster say it could take some time for this study to be complete.
Every penny we're spending on a study is required by the feds in order to get to the next step. We had to do origin destination. Now we've got to do environmental. Once that's done, we can get into the design aspect of it, and then we've got to pay for design. And then once that's done, then we start going to DC and our friends in Montgomery.
Lawrence thinks a new bridge could be most effective if it connects to the Beltline.
Happening later this morning, Huntsville police are expected to share more information on crime trends in our area. Police are also set to share what efforts are being taken to keep you safe. The press conference is happening at 10 a.m. and you can watch it on our website, WAFF.com, as well as our social media platforms. Later tonight, though, you can share your thoughts on the Huntsville Police Department. Police leaders are holding a public feedback forum to hear from you. They'll also discuss how complaints are handled and the investigative process. That forum is set to start at 6 o'clock tonight. It's being held at the Johnson Legacy Center on Cecil Fain Drive.
Now, your first alert weather with meteorologist Eric Burke.
Hey, good morning once again, everyone. A little patchy fog this morning. It's not a widespread issue. We do have some occasional sun this morning, but by the afternoon, the clouds start to thicken up. Even though we see a lot more cloud cover than what we saw yesterday, our temperatures will be just as warm, anywhere from upper 60s to low 70s. The wind will pick up from the southwest. By about 8, 9 o'clock this evening, we'll be tracking some light scattered showers moving in from the west and northwest, and this becomes widespread overnight into early tomorrow morning. The heaviest, most widespread rain happening when most of us are sleeping about 2, 3, 4 a.m., but we could hear some occasional thunder. We are not forecasting any form of strong to severe storms. Rain will push off to the east-southeast, leaves us dry by mid to late morning. Then we're sunny. High temperatures tomorrow will be cooler because the wind will be out of the north versus the southwest, but still not a bad February day. Most of you picking up anywhere from a quarter to half an inch of rainfall. You're watching your 48 Fastcast wherever you stream, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back. Well, staff members at a local library are being honored for the impact they're having on the community. The Florence Lauderdale Public Library was recently awarded the 2026 Audrey Nelson Community Development Achievement Award. It's according to our media partners at the Times Daily. A major factor in that decision was the recent construction of literacy gardens. As you see on your screen, those gardens look like a great place to relax and read.
One local teacher was just honored. Rachel Harbin of Decatur was just named Alabama's Outstanding Young Music Educator of the Year. She teaches at Austinville Elementary. Harbin told our media partners at the Decatur Daily she has the best job on campus because she gets to help students find their voice and learn more about music. Some people in Decatur are making a big difference this morning. People lined up at Decatur City Hall yesterday to donate blood. While this was done to help people who need blood, it was also done in support of a Decatur Fire Lieutenant's daughter, Brooklyn, as she undergoes treatment for brain cancer.
You know, the gift of blood is huge, especially seeing it from a fire and rescue side of things. We know how important it is for there to be an ample blood supply.
The department has been working to help the family since last November when they started selling Team Brooklyn t-shirts.
Now, your first alert weather with meteorologist Eric Burke.
All right, simple forecast for today. A little bit of sunshine this morning. Clouds will move in, hitting a high of 71. Our average is 56, so we're well above that, obviously. Maybe some occasional drizzle, a few pockets late morning into the afternoon. A lot of you stay dry, but we warm up. It feels like a spring day. Later on this evening, we've got rain coming in from the west-northwest. We'll start off as light scattered showers, but once we hit midnight into early tomorrow morning, that's when we'll have the most widespread and likely intense rainfall. Could have some ponding and puddles impacting that Wednesday morning drive. With the warm temps, it is going to be breezy, but still a good day to take the kids out to the park and get some fresh air. 54 overnight, occasional thunder. We are not forecasting any strong to severe storms. Now, the good part about tomorrow's rain, it's gone. We see sunshine by the afternoon. Low to mid 60s Thursday, Friday. Valentine's Day, Saturday, high of 60. Should be dry until later Saturday evening into Sunday. So watching your weekend forecast very closely. It's a holiday weekend, a 3-day weekend for many with President's Day on Monday too, but it does look like it's going to rain.
Yeah, the Valentine's Day rain does concern me a little bit.
Okay, you got a hot date. I know you do.
I mean, we'll try.
I know
you do.
All right, y'all have a good one. We'll be back on air with more news, weather, and traffic all throughout the morning.